What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm doing the OnePlus 7 Pro. Months later. How's it been holding up? How's it gonna do in the future? What I think about it, specs. To kick things off, 755 Snapdragon or 855 Snapdragon processor. This variant has 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage. There's a lesser model with 6 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage, and then a bigger model that's 12 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage. No expandable storage on these phones. I don't think you need expandable storage on these phones unless you really download a lot of stuff on your phone and take a lot of 4K videos, pictures, so on and so forth. 48 megapixel front main shooter. Ultra wide camera and a 3x zoom, and then you have the pop-up selfie camera, which is pretty sick, and that's what makes it damn near bezel-less. 4,000 milliamp battery, 90 hertz display, like I said before, warp charge, dual speakers. Overall, an overall great phone. All those specs I just read. For $699, not a bad deal. Especially in the world where things are costing $1,000, $1,200, you know, for smartphones. Do you get more features in those? In some cases. For example, the Samsung devices give you more features. The Huawei devices give you more features. Apple, on the other hand, they don't have warp charge. They don't have a 90 hertz display. They don't have well, they have dual speakers, but they're a little different than these. I mean, in my opinion, these sound better. 4,000 milliamp, 3 cameras. You know, the list goes on and on. But that's the price that you pay for to get what you want. They put a lot of money on this display, and if you're coming from another phone and you hold them side to side, you do see the difference between the displays. The 90 hertz is just beautiful. It's just crisp. The flow, the way apps load, it's just beautiful and smooth. Now let's talk about if this is an actually good upgrade from last year's OnePlus 6T. The OnePlus 6T right now is about $500. When it launched, it was about $600 for like the top model, I think. Was that a bad device? No. One of my favorite devices. I still have my OnePlus 6T. Love that phone. But you added 2 different cameras, a 48 megapixel and the ultra wide camera. You added more battery, more RAM on the top model. The display, like I said before, for years it's been 1080p display. Finally a 90 hertz 4K display. Finally dual speakers. But you still don't get wireless charging. You still don't get an official IP rating. Is that a deal breaker? Probably not. I mean, it's OnePlus. If you've had a OnePlus device before and you keep upgrading to the next OnePlus device, the price you're paying is definitely a bigger upgrade than what you have. But that's just about with any phone except certain phones, but I'll get into that in another video because it's redundant. So anyways, my favorite things about this device: the design, the battery, the camera, the display. Oxygen OS is just one of the biggest reasons why I love this phone. I love this fingerprint scanner. It's just so responsive. It's so quick. Cameras are very good quality. Not the best in the world, but not the worst in the world. I think it's somewhere within the top 4 right now. But nowadays you have so many editing apps and, you know, ways to edit stuff. So in my opinion, it's one of the best cameras out there right now. If that's what you want, that's what you should go for. If you want a solid camera, check. If you want solid battery life, check. If you want a great design, futuristic design, check. If you want Great battery, check. You know, this thing is overall an amazing phone, and it's been doing me well since I got it, since it released. With that being said, I mean, do I recommend this phone? 100% yes. Now, if you want alternatives, you don't have that $700. I mean, it's still snappy, it's still smooth, it's still, you know, it's still super responsive months later. A lot of phones just kind of start lagging, or a lot of phones start, you know, once the next device shows up, they start, you know, my OnePlus 6T is still fast. But some quick alternatives to this, if you don't have the $700, a good $300 to $400 phone is the Mi 9T. It's literally a watered down version of this phone. It has 6 gigs of RAM, 128 up to 120 gigs of storage, 64 gigs to start, pop-up camera, good fingerprint sensor. It's got a lesser processor, but if you want a watered down version of this phone, the Xiaomi Mi 9T is probably the best alternative to this phone. If you have a little bit more money to spend, if you're looking at a $400 to $500 device, the Xiaomi Mi 9 is a great device. Great cameras, triple cameras. These two past phones that I just mentioned, triple cameras, great cameras. I took so many pictures with my 9T that were amazing, and I'm going to share some photos that I've taken with this phone at the end of the video. But like I said before, some companies spend more money on one feature. The Mi 9 actually has wireless charging, and it's a $400 to $500 phone. Depends on where you get it. Now, if you just need an all-around great device, you need waterproof, you need the wireless charging, you need this, you need pretty much every feature that you can think of. What I suggest you do, if you're looking at a $500 to $600 device, or $600 or ish, to, you know, this is a new device, so obviously it's going to cost more. But if you're looking at something around this price point, do last year's flagship. Now, the only downside to last year's flagship is that it's already a year behind in receiving updates, and it's got last year's processor. Now, if you want something around that price point but don't want to pay, but don't want last year's processor, one great alternative that I think of is the Zenfone 6. It's got this year's processor, it's got great camera, it's got a flip camera, so it's got a really good selfie camera because it's taking selfies with the rear camera, which is the regular camera. But what I'm trying to get at is what's in your pocket and what's good for you. What are your key features that you look for? Are you overall, I mean, in my opinion, it's a great device. If you don't have it, if you haven't touched it, go to T-Mobile, play around with it. You'll see right away with this 90 Hz display how smooth and how nice it is. If you've never owned a OnePlus device, it's a great alternative to an iPhone. It's simple, it's quick, great cameras. It's just the easier way of turning over from if you're trying to switch. A lot of these manufacturers throw too many gimmicks, too many features, so it kind of confuses iPhone users when they come over. But if you want a solid device, this is one of the biggest ones that I recommend, especially if you're looking to upgrade and you have the money to spend and you're just going to spend this and wait till the next year's or the year after that. This is a great alternative because I still see people with OnePlus 5s, OnePlus 3s in their pockets. So very, very future proof. Very good device overall. Like I said, if you need alternatives, I gave you a few alternatives. That's been it. I mean, stay tuned for more videos. I got my Note 10 Pro review coming up, and then I'm going to do a quick comparison of between this and the Note 10 Pro. So stay tuned and see what that extra $400 gets you. Anyways, that's been it, guys. Catch you guys on the next one.